Hello and welcome to the first Butchery YouTube. On Christmas Day, Mark contacted us telling us how he wanted to help us fulfil our wish of learning to butcher a lamb. So last weekend we headed down to Dorset, and after a few mishaps on the M5 and about 2 hours sleep, we were placed in front of a whole lamb carcass and told we were going to butcher it. Mark initially showed us how to cut the lamb down into your 3 primal cuts. So this is what he's teaching us now. First off, he's going to tell us what tools of the trade you need to become a butcher.
Right then, I'm going to quickly show you a few tools that you'll require for your lamb butchery. Excuse me. One is a bone saw, sometimes referred to as a meat saw, but you're actually going to saw bones with it and not meat. This one is 20 inch. Don't buy a smaller one, always get one at least 20 inch, because by the time you've gone across the body of the carcass, you need some play within the saw to actually do its job. And always remember the teeth always face forward. So 20 inch bone saw. Then we got ourselves, this is probably the most important tool, little boning saw, okay, boning knife, beg your pardon, and this is got scallops down the side, so when you're actually cutting your meat, it'll help the meat fall away from the knife and stop the meat being dragged with a knife when you're making your cut. And this is what's called a steak knife. So big knives are for big pieces of meat, the smaller knives are for smaller pieces, and it's just stating the obvious. When you've got a big carcass like this, you want a good knife when you're cutting all the way across to fit across the piece of meat. And then if you've got knives, then you need a steel. So what I'm going to do, if I can just show the camera, I'm going to bring my knife in here first, and then take this breast of lamb off just on this side of the shoulder. In order to make sure I've got a good line, I just make what I call a pencil mark with my boning knife, and I just very, very lightly touch my blade along the breast, like so. And I just look at the line and ask myself, am I happy with it? Yes, I am, so I'm going to continue. There we are, one breast of lamb, and we'll do exactly the same on the opposite side. I'll just put those on the kitties. And what we do here, we take a finger's width, okay, at the groin area, a finger's width, and place the bone saw square. So I'm happy with that, and then I'm going to now saw through the legs, and once I've got my saw through the bone, I'll then place my saw down on the butcher's block and revert to the knife. So okay. So now we're left with the 2 rear legs, and then what we're going to do now is cut between the 6th and 7th rib. So we need to count the ribs: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to be cutting between 6 and 7, and we do exactly the same on the other side: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we've got our 3 primals, our forequarters, our middle, and our hindquarters. And I'm here if you need me.
I'm just going to copy Sophie. So you come in here. So now it was our turn, so please bear in mind we'd had about 2 hours sleep, so we looked grumpy as anything and probably very very untalkative. Just copying what Mark did here and cutting along the breast, and my sawing skills aren't really up to par here. Old angle, I blame it on being a lefty, really. Annabelle patiently waiting for the saw in the background.
Yeah.
There we go, and I've done both sides now, and I'm now just cutting down into the 6th and 7th ribs whilst Annabelle is finishing off the breast. That is a lot harder than it looks, to be honest. So Mark puts the breast and also the leg, shoulders over on the other table so I can clear my space, and here we are cutting down into the back legs. And then that is it for us cutting into our primals. And so for next week, you've got this to look forward to. We tackle haggis. Thank you for watching, and check out Twitter, Facebook and YouTube channels.